Hey guys, this is John. Welcome to the free video, and we're going to start off looking at the Euro Stoxx 50. Well, why the Euro Stoxx 50? Well, it's just kind of an indication. It can be a leading indicator. The S&Ps right now are kind of closer to their highs, and the Euro Stoxx 50 is not. But you can see that there is a squeeze setting up here. All the waves are aligned, which just kind of sets it up for a little bit of a pop. You know, maybe it's just to this trend line before it implodes. But what's interesting like this is that even though if we come over here and we look at the S&Ps, the US market, you can see that performance-wise, they have done better. They're almost here at their highs, but there's not a squeeze or anything setting up. Oftentimes what I've found is that you'll get these hidden moves, these kind of hidden squeezes with another index. So even though the S&Ps don't have a squeeze because the Euro Stoxx 50 does, and it's bullish, that actually bodes well here. So it's going to be a very interesting week in terms of, you know, hey, we've rallied, we're trading sideways. You know, is this the end of this rally and we die, or are we going to get one more pop? As I look around the environment, by the way, I hate this market. Like, being long this market just feels wrong, but I'm not seeing anything that's telling me any different. And I'm looking at the put-call ratio, I'm looking at the skew, I'm looking at the trend. I'm looking at all these different indexes, and I'm not saying anything except for some divergences, which, you know, divergences are great when they work, but a lot of times they don't. So it's just kind of a hurry up and wait mode. In terms of interesting stocks, we had a long position on BIDU today that hit our target, and I wish it wouldn't have hit our target. I mean, this thing was got at the 5 minutes before the close, got announced that it was going to be added to, I think it's called the the MSCI index, and so a ton of buying came in, and we had some options that we bought at 8 or 9, and had a sell order at 13, and so they got hit right at the close, and of course now it's exploding higher. So pros and cons of using a target, but in this case that's good. I do think that this stock will be very active tomorrow, and will be aggressive about playing this one in the room. All right, so let's take a look at TLT. So TLT to me is very interesting here for a couple of reasons. One, we do have a weekly squeeze that's developing. Two, we do have kind of a wedge formation here, which whenever you get a squeeze combined with a wedge, you're essentially setting up for a big move. Now, at this point, it could go either way. There's only one wave here above zero, so it could break up to the upside or it could break to the downside. Why is this important? Because everybody in the market, you know, they've thrown fundamentals aside and they're waiting to see what the Fed's going to do. Okay, and if this squeeze essentially triggers to the downside and TLT goes lower, okay, that's a signal that the Fed is ready to raise rates, and that actually could be very bearish for stocks. Like, oh my God, they're going to raise rates. On the other hand, if we break out to the upside here, that's a signal, because essentially the market knows everything in advance. That's a signal that the Fed has no intention of raising rates, and that could be very, very positive for stocks. So this is really the most important setup that's out there right now, and it's important just to understand how to play that, how to understand where interest rates come into the picture. So this is what I'm going to be talking about on this free webinar Tuesday night. The idea, of course, is hey, what are some strategies that we can use to really kind of catch some big winners and grow our account fast? Simploptions.com/fast. Well, the idea with this is a big part of what's going to drive 2016 is going to be interest rates. Okay, so we're going to talk about things to look for. We're going to talk about strategies, not only to kind of give you a signal of okay, man, interest rates are getting ready to get raised, but then what are the best things to take advantage of, and how is that going to impact stocks? So that'll be a part of it. And then from there, we're going to be looking at how to find stocks that are bucking the trend of the general market. Okay, what are the key market internals to watch every day for these early signals, not only for stocks but also for a heads up here, because if you know the right things to look at, you're going to know well before the analysts, quote unquote, on CNBC know. How to know which options to buy and when, okay, and how far out do you get them for something like this? Okay, is this something that you buy weekly options on, or do you got to buy leaps? How to trade from the road, okay? I'm a big fan of mobile. The mobile apps right now have really come a long way, and I'm starting to do that more and more. It's kind of a sense of freedom and how to trade for multiple account sizes. Okay, it's gonna be a lot of good stuff. simpleroptions.com/fast. It'll be at 8 o'clock East Coast time on Tuesday, and you just sign up here for the free webinar. All right, looking forward to seeing you there. You guys have a great night, and we'll see you at the next update.